Hey, welcome to Geek Speak episode
18.
18. All right, what you want to talk about, brother?
So James Gunn has just recently announced who his new Superman for Superman Legacy is going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe you can help me with this because I have no freaking clue. Maybe you all can put in the comments. His name is David Cornsweet.
I seen his
or something like that.
I seen his picture. and it's like if you ordered a Henry Cavill from the Wish catalog.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it what it would look like.
So I looked up some of his movies. I thought surely there's something in there.
Yeah.
No, this all must be all Hallmark Channel shit because I don't recognize any of it.
Oh yeah.
No,
I never heard of him, and we'd mentioned it before. I won't go into it too much now, but he should just stuck with what he had. He should stuck with what he had, and tried to work with the pieces that were already in place, versus trying to rebuild at
didn't him
this
and
stage.
Cavill kind of?
Who knows?
know.
I hear he's keeping Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, so it's like he's, who knows?
If you're gonna start over, start over.
Yeah, I agree. And then he's Blue Beetle just come out.
Right.
And it's one of those cases where audiences are kind of liking the movie, and but it's not making any money. And it was similar to that on Flash, and similar to that in some of the other movies that they actually like the movie, or they might like the new streaming series, but the people that actually watch it, but there's not that many people watching it. So financially, like DC's lost money on the last 3 movies: Blue Beetle, The Flash, and it seemed like one more, Black Adam. So you just can't keep doing that.
I can understand Black Adam because he's not a familiar character, but Blue Beetle, everybody knows Blue Beetle.
Well, I don't, because I'm not a DC
Right,
guy.
well.
But I mean, the thing is that these studios need to make money, and I think that, and I've said this before, that the superhero movies peaked out with Avengers Endgame. And I think we've been on a slow decline, and it's just going to come to a point when they're like, these movies financially, we can't make money with them,
Right.
so they're going to back away from them. So what else you got? Anything else?
So I know you and your grandson started getting into the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles, and I kind of have looked into this new Mutants of Mayhem.
Yeah, it didn't interest me. I didn't look at it.
Did y'all not go? It's a movie.
My grandson went and seen it, Ronan, and he said he liked it.
I've heard I heard good reviews about it, but I've also heard some of the hardcore Teenage Ninja Mutant fans are upset because they're ninjas, but yet at the end of it, they're getting accepted in society and they're out in the open. So it kind of defeats them being ninjas. And the fact that they got their skills by watching TV and movie and not actually learning it from Splinter.
See what happens?
Like
every
way off
generation
base.
has their Batman, and every
Right.
generation has their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Batman's origins have stayed the same.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you. They, what they do is they're wanting to make a new Batman movie, or they're wanting to make a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, and so they change it. And it with each generation, if you keep changing it, eventually it doesn't even resemble what made it popular to begin with. And so, you would be better off just telling another story than you would going back and trying to make it look different and make the characters act different. But, it's not my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we got a video on. It was the 2012 version.
Mm-hmm.
But the new ones, the toys are pretty much just sitting on the shelves. Nobody's buying them. I mean, Ronan enjoyed it. I mean, he didn't think it was his favorite version, but he enjoyed it. Well, so the other day that we had a girl sing at church,
Okay.
and with her family, and it was the Diggle family, and they had some of their CDs out for sale, or some of their music out for sale in the lobby, and I'm not really into contemporary Christian music. I kind of like the old hymns. But she said that she was a big Lord of the Rings fan and had come out with a Lord of the Rings inspired music, and it was for download, because that's what you do now, you download.
Right.
Well, I went out and I didn't know that. Of course, I got excited about that because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan.
Right.
So I said, "Oh, it's download. Okay, well, I'm not interested. I'm no man. Hey."
Yeah.
So she was like,
I
"I'll
don't
burn."
know Spotify.
Yeah. So she said, "Well, I'll burn you a CD." Oh man, no, she didn't say that. She said, "I'll actually burn you a CD," and she did it, mailed it to me. And I got to thinking after the fact, I should probably paid her shipping and handling, but the name of it is Ganneldor of the Greenwood. It's by Christina Diggle.
Did she even put a cover on it for you?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I told her she wants to come to Ren Fairs. I told her if she come to the next Ren Fair, I'd buy her lunch or something, try to
Okay,
pay
say
back.
say it again because I was talking when you were saying the title.
Ganneldor of Greenwood by Christina Diggles. But anyway, it's she's got a beautiful voice. She plays several instruments, and it's all original songs, but it's based on and inspired by Lord of the Rings music, which I like anyway. So it was really, really nice, and I enjoyed it. And I'll, if I can remember, I'll stick a link to her page in the description.
Right.
So what else you got, brother?
You know me. I love today in history, right?
Yeah.
So today in history, this is the 25th of August when this gets released. This time will pass, but today's the release of Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it celebrates their anniversary. It came out in 1964, and this day in history is also. So I'm big on voice actors.
Yeah.
And so, Don LaFontaine, you know him?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Is he the guy that Samurai Jack's voice?
No, he's the guy that done every freaking voice. He passed away back in 2008. But he's the one that did all the voice acting for every advertisement, for every movie, for
The Voice.
Yeah,
it was called The Voice.
The Voice.
Yeah,
He would be like, in a world where two old geeks sit and talk. Right. That's him.
Yeah.
And he was just like the voice of our generation.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to give him a shout out and voice actors in general because, dude, he was just like freaking awesome.
You know how many times I've seen Mary Poppins?
Never.
Too many times. Because of our mother.
Oh.
But so back here on the wall on my Lord of the Rings poster, I got several autographs, and it's always interesting. Like John Reeves' autograph, John Reeves Davis. Yeah, he played Gimli, so he's just real meticulous about writing that just as neat as he can. And then the guy that played Mary, I think it is, Monahan. I can't think of his full name right now, but you couldn't read that if you held a gun to your head. I mean, it's like, you can't make out that signature at all. And I was talking to a guy when we were standing in line to get these autographs. He was talking about how a lot of people. That's why there's so many counterfeit autographs out there, because people write so sloppy. The celebrities write so sloppy, or they write different every time, and so it's just so easy to fake those. And if you get any kind of autograph on eBay, chances are it's
not their autograph.
It's not their
autograph.
See,
I've always been told that, and I might be mistaken, that they have two signatures. They have one that they give the fans, usually just a quick sloppy, and then they have their actual one they might use for legal documents and stuff like that.
Well, I can understand if you're in a rush and somebody catches you.
Well, you're sitting there signing 15
If you're going into Applebee's and somebody's like, "Hey, man, can I have your autograph?" and you're just like, "Sure." I understand that. But if you're getting paid and you're sitting there, the guy that did Gimli, John Reeves Davis, he gets a slow clap, man, because he was
maybe he was taking his time because he was giving you his version of a signature that wasn't actually his.
Maybe he did. Maybe that's why it says Elvis Presley instead of John Reeves Davis.
Could be.
So you got anything else?
No.
Well, have you seen Twisted Metal on Peacock?
No.
Well, first of all, Twisted Metal was a game I'm not familiar with. It come out on PlayStation. And
is that the one about the clown with flaming head?
Yeah. So I'm not a PlayStation guy. You are. I'm an Xbox guy. So, but it's the oldest original PlayStation exclusive game of all games. So it come out on PlayStation, and it come out on PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there's not one on 5. But there's been like 5 or 6 different chapters in that game. So
Really?
so they come out with a series that's loosely based on. It's called Twisted Metal, and it's got Anthony Mackie. That's the dude who played Falcon in the MCU.
Right.
And he's a really good actor.
Actually, I had a friend show me that
Trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a mixture of Mad Max, which you and I are big
Right.
post-apocalyptic fans, and we've got 2 videos on post-apocalyptic movies. And then it's like a mixture of Mad Max and then The Transporter. And he's a milkman. He makes deliveries from one city to another. And it's so good.
Was
it's
it
so
you
entertaining.
telling me about that, or was it a friend of mine? Because they was like,
Must have been a friend.
He might deliver he don't know what he's delivering.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
could be something as silly as like a pack of gum or some
Yeah.
shit.
So I mean, yes, it's really it's comedy.
I'm gonna risk my life.
Yeah, it's
to
a
bring you some
comedy.
juicy
Hey
fruit.
man, we all got to make a living. But it's a comedy, but it's so good. And the main bad guy, the clown,
Yeah.
which obviously doesn't have a flaming head in the series, but his name's Sweet Tooth. And I always thought that was funny
It was Matt that brought it up.
because
to
our
me.
little brother Matthew,
He was the one that brought it up to me.
he
That's
always
right.
had nightmares about a clown named Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
Long time before this game Twisted Metal ever came out.
That's why I remember.
And
it. He
so
was
now
talking.
they got a clown called Sweet Tooth. I wonder if he can sue.
No.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. But anyway, so he probably shouldn't watch the show. It'd probably make him wet to bed.
I wonder what the clown sounds like.
Yeah, in his dream.
No, in the game versus the
Oh, in the game?
series,
Oh,
does
yeah.
the actor do a good job?
Yeah, he does pretty good. He has it's a big wrestler named Samoan Joe. So, but yeah, he does good. He looks really sweaty and nasty. I got a feeling there's gonna be lots of fat guys that are
Yay.
Sweet Tooth at the next Comic-Con. We got that to look forward to. So,
Line him up.
what else you got, brother?
You got done ask me. I ain't got nothing.
All right, well, fine then. I'll talk again. Let's see. My comic book recommendation is a modern comic. You know, most of the time I'm picking a comic from the
Right.
past.
Yeah.
But remember though, Fire and Ice, Frank Frazzetta?
Oh yes. Love it.
So there's a comic series that's coming out. It's a prequel, and it's Fire and Ice, and the art on it is fantastic.
Well,
And,
that's what really made the movie was the art itself. It wasn't the storyline. The storyline was let's give you a chance to watch some big booby girl bounce across the screen.
Yeah, so Sarah Frazzetta, which is the granddaughter of Frank, her and her mother, they started the Frazzetta Girls. And it's funny because she said she grew up never really knowing how popular her grandfather, Frank, was. And, you know, she was working at some little fast food place, and the guy finds out that Frank Frazzetta is her grandfather. He's like, "Oh man, you got to get me an autograph." So she goes ask her granddad for an autograph, and then he's like, "Yeah," and then the grandmother's like, "No, he's got to pay for that. If he wants that, he's got to pay for it." So her grandfather's like, "You know, come out back," and so he comes back, and he's like, "Yeah," he said, "I'll give him an autograph," you know.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't until afterwards she realized how popular and what an impact on the fantasy world that Frank Frazzetta had. And so her and her mom decided that Frank's daughter and Frank's granddaughter decided they would start a company called Frazzetta Girls, where they try to keep that alive. And that's one of the things they're doing. So they got one of the greatest writers, Willingham. He did the Fables series, which I'm a huge fan of the Fables series. Such an imagination on the guy to write a prequel. And so I got the first issue, and it's been great. And so
Now, when you say
recommend
Frazzetta
it.
Girls, it's not just a bunch of big booby girls, is it?
No, these are actually descendants of Frank Frazzetta.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know how big their breasts are, but Sarah looks cute from on the internet anyway, and I haven't seen her mother, but anyway, are we out of time? Oh, we got a little bit of time
We
left.
got a little bit of time left.
All right, so one more thing. I picked up Red Sonja, okay? And it's not on my comic book recommendation, but it is very, very good. But the reason I want to talk about it is Dynamite's rebooted it, and Thorne Groenbeck is the writer. What a good Viking name.
Right.
But anyway, you know how many variant covers they had for that?
4.
93.
Oh my God. That
We've
was
gotten-
a
gotten-
waste of ink.
I mean, I understand having a few different covers so you can just say, hey, I want that cover, I want that cover.
Right.
And the whole cover thing's ended up being a scam to where if you order 50 comics, you get this variant cover. If you're a retailer, if you order 100 comics, you get this cover. If you order 200 comics, so they'll order 200 comics to get that super ultra rare variant
Right.
that they'll sell to some rich geek that will pay for the other copies that they'll end up in a dollar bin somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which makes the price of the comic never ever go up. Modern comics rarely go up because the print runs are so high because of those silly variant covers.
So how many variants you got?
I just got one. I just bought the one, but I mean 93 different variant covers. I mean, you know, and I wanted to know the poor sucker that went and tried to get every one of them.
But did they get like different artists to do it?
Yeah, for the most part. What they'll do is several of them with several artists. Every once in a while they'll have a cover. And it won't say Red Sonja, just have the picture on it. That'd be called a virgin cover. Or they'll have the same picture in black and white. You know, and I'm just like, or they'll have like a cover that just says Red Sonja.
Do they still
and
do
it's
like
totally white?
The gold?
It's totally white, and that way you can draw your own picture. You can make your own
Oh.
variant cover. A lot of artists do that. They'll buy copies that are white, and they'll draw Red Sonja and then sell it to somebody.
Huh.
And but anyway, I'm done. You done?
I'm done.
All right. See you guys later.